forth, and you just come off a tough game, and you got that win, and things look pretty bright. Now, what's changed between the two teams? I mean, they have a 3-game losing streak. You guys have a 3-game losing streak. What do you see different between the two teams, how they're playing? First, them, and then you guys, if you could.
Think they were able to go back home and regroup after those games here against us, and then down in Oregon. They got back home and really took it to California, beat Stanford, got their confidence back, and gained some momentum, and they're playing good basketball. For us, almost the opposite. You know, we go down and lose a game at Oregon. I am really proud of the guys that we were able to bounce back and beat an Oregon State team. Then we come back home and lose to Stanford, and that's a tough loss on your home court. But again, our guys bounced back and beat a good Cal team. So we've shown signs, but we have not been consistent and consistently good like Washington has as of late.
When they were going through their 3-game losing streak, they were talking about their defense was struggling a bit. The last round of 4 games, your defense has allowed teams to shoot pretty well against you. There's some similarities there? Maybe is that the side of the ball that needs to be tightened up? Needed to be tightened up for them, and needs to be tightened up for you.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know exactly what their issues are. Yeah. You know, they labeled it as defense, and maybe that's probably what it was. But I don't think it's just defense with us. I've not really liked our offense as much as a few weeks back. So part of that's due to the teams we've played. Arizona's really good. They're really good. We played a good game. We got beat by a top 15 or top 20 team in the country on their home court, and we had chances to close that thing up. And I want to say we were down 5, and we missed a shot right at the rim, and I think one time we were down maybe 5 again or 7, and we missed front end of a 1-on-1. So I thought all in all we played well, but we missed some opportunities that could have maybe got us right down to a 2 or 3 point game. And then Arizona State, we came out, we did not play well, and they did. They did a great job. The Creekmer kid hit some big shots, but still, I didn't think we played as well as we could that game. And so again, I'm going back to I'd like to see us be more consistent on both ends of the court.
What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like Sunday night there?
Oh, it'll be a great atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere at Washington almost every time they play. So I don't think it'll be any different when we're over there.
I think it might be a little more, what's the term I'm looking for, pointed, in that there's some of what happened here, the rush in the court, and some of the players not being happy about it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're motivated differently than the fans rushing the court. I can't believe that that's going to be a big motivational factor, but maybe it is. I think there's more at stake than that, and I'm sure that that won't play a part. But I think the fans will have fun with that or whatever else, and that's what college basketball is about. You know, a bunch of students getting there and having a good time and taking shots at the opponent. So it won't be any different than anywhere else we've been. Just happens at the University of Washington, they're right behind your bench. So you can hear them clearly.
Coach Bone, my name is Danny O'Neill, and I cover the NFL for the Seattle Times. And there's a former player of yours from Portland State who's here at the scouting combine, Julius Thomas. And I was wondering kind of just your recollections of coaching him, and if you ever had thought about him making a heck of a football player.
Oh, yeah. We talked about it. His dad played football at University of Pacific down in Stockton. And Julius was our John Brockman. Had some guys at Washington put together some video clips of John and just how tough he was, relentless. And it didn't take long for them to put that together. And they sent it down to me, and I showed Julius that and said, this is the type of player we expect you to be. You know, 6'6", strong, aggressive, and just relentless. And you know, just to give you a name that you're familiar with, John Brockman is very similar to Julius Thomas as a basketball player, just rugged and tough and relentless. And so it doesn't surprise me a bit that he had a good season this year at Portland State with football. And it won't surprise me if he makes the NFL, just because not only is he a tough kid, he's a great kid, and he's mentally tough.
Thank you very much, Coach.
You're welcome.
Coach, this is Bob Sherwin in Seattle. Along those same lines about, rushing the floor and the motivation. These kids, most of them know each other, and there's a lot of tweeting and talking back and forth. Do you kind of caution the kids, particularly in a week like this, to keep it normal, keep it sane? Do you talk to them about that? Can things get out of hand when they say a little too much to their friends, and then that goes into the media?
Yeah, I think it can. I'm not aware of anything at this time, but I mean, if you're alluding to a comment or a tweet that someone's made, I'm not aware of it. But yeah.
No, not yet. But there's always that potential, and we talked about rushing the floor as a trigger for some of these kids, and they brought that up the next couple days. And a little thing like that, you wouldn't think it'd be big for the rest of us, but it is for them. But I'm just thinking a little tweet could be big for them and blow up into something that you don't want to go in that direction.
Right. Nobody wants to go in that direction, and you do need to be aware of it. I have not said anything this week, but I've mentioned it a number of times during the season that we need to be smart with what we tweet, what we say, and we need to handle ourselves in the right way. So hopefully we can continue to do that.
Hey, Ken, did you ever think in a million years you'd be saying we have to be careful with what we tweet?
No. No, I never dreamed that that we'd be so transparent in everything we do and we say. And yet that's just kind of the way it is now. There's really no secrets out there. I think even the iPod thing got out there, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. What's the health status of Aiden and everybody else?
Well, we did not practice yesterday. We went Tuesday morning, and everybody was there and everybody was healthy. So I'm expecting the same thing this afternoon. I think everybody's good to go.
So his knee is better?
I don't think it's better. It's bothered him ever since he stepped on campus. It bothered him last year at the junior college in Florida. I don't think it's a situation where he needs surgery, although he could. It's just very irritating. Probably, well, not probably, some tendonitis in there, and he just has a knee that continues to bother him. So I can't say it's completely healed, but it's better than it was last week. It really helped him that he had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. We went Monday, we went real light Tuesday morning, and we had yesterday off. So, he's had 4 of the last 6 days off, and again, I'm assuming it'll be good to go this afternoon. We just keep taking that thing day by day.
And Ken, what would you say to the people who are looking at your team and saying, gee, it's the same thing as last year where they're fading in the second half?
What would I say to that? I think that's a fair assessment because we've only won 2 of our last 6 games, but I think we're a better team, and I think we'll handle it's not over, and I think we'll handle the situation better this year than last year, and that's what we've done so far.
Coach, is this to a point now where it's almost like the NCAA tournament? To get in the NCAA tournament where you got to win out?
I don't know. I would say to win out means win the Pac-10 championship, right?
Yeah, well, if you beat the Huskies, I would think that that would help. Certainly, it would help your credentials.
Right.
So that may help. But if you lose to the Huskies, would you think you would have to win out to get in the tournament?
No, I think we could lose the next 3 games, go to the Pac-10 tournament, win it, and we're in. I mean, if I understand how it works, then if you win the Pac-10 tournament, you're in it.
Right, but
Now, are you talking about an at-large berth?
well, let's just say you beat the Huskies, or you go win on 2 out of the next 3. You get to the finals of the Pac-10 tournament, you lose.
Then in
That
that,
enough to get you in there?
I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. I think in that situation, if we were not to win the conference tournament, we would definitely have to win the next 3 games, and then a couple in the Pac-10 tournament, probably play well in the championship game, and if we lose, I think we'd still have a shot at getting in. A good shot. But, yeah, that's in that scenario, that's what I would say.
And you don't have to tell the kids that's the scenario that they're thinking as well.
Well, we're taking things one game at a time, and right now we're just talking about University of Washington, trying to go over there and do the best we can Sunday night.
Ken,
Go ahead.
Ken, on that note, are there some other motivating factors? I mean, obviously it's about pride, but are you thinking about conference tournament seeding? Are you thinking about, the whatever possibility there is of getting that large bid?
Well, that's always been in the back of our mind all year. Every game, we know that there's a lot at stake, and if we win, it helps our chance, and if we lose, it hurts our chances. So just like here in the last few weeks, losing to Stanford really hurt us. Turning around and beating Cal, we figured that was a feather in our cap. Losing any game from here on out is really going to make it difficult for us to get into the NCAA tournament. And because of the teams we play here at the end of the year, Washington and then USC and UCLA, those are 3 really good teams. So all those would be real quality wins, and if we could be fortunate enough to win those games, we'd be going into the Pac-10 on the right step, and I think our chances would be good in the Pac-10 tournament if we could win the next 3 in a row.
Coach, you've been on.
What about, Coach?
Sorry, we have a question.
The chess match maybe you play with Romar as far as, do you try and use the same things that were successful against the Huskies defensively in the first game, or do you try and maybe guess that he's going to be thinking that and throw him some curveballs?
I apologize. Could you please restate that question? There was talk going on in here.
Yeah, it was such a long question, I think I forgot what I said, but I'll try. The chess match that maybe you play with Coach Romar, do you, in the first game, the things that were successful for you defensively, do you rely on that again, or do you think to yourself, well, wait a minute, they're going to try and counter that, maybe I should go with something else?
I think we'll try to do what was successful in the first game against them, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll work again, especially on their home court. So we will be anticipating making some adjustments during the course of the game depending on how they respond to what we do.
Coach, it seemed like what you guys did against Isaiah particularly was really effective in getting them out of their rhythm on offense. Is he the guy that you got to focus on in order to do that?
He's one of the key guys, but Brian Manning's playing really, really well. I mean, he's doing a great job in a variety of ways. So it's not just Isaiah, and even though Isaiah might not have put up big numbers, he created a lot of easy looks for those guys. He still got in the middle of the key many times and dished it off to other guys for wide open threes that they hit. So Isaiah, he can have an impact on the game even if he's not scoring because he's such a prolific passer.
And then the fact that you've been on both benches in this rivalry, when they play at home, they just hit like another gear. And as the coach, as being the Cougars coach now, I mean, how do you guard against that? How do you warn your players going into that game that is it just from the get-go you got to be ready?
It is, and it helps that you've got some guys that have been in that environment before. And so they've played there, they know what it's about, and they experienced last year's game when we had a decent first half, and then Washington just blasted us the second half. And so they've had that experience, so they know what's coming. It's a different game there. It's very physical, and we've got to be ready to deal with that physicality.